Hey everybody, Christopher Beast here. Every so often, the devs hold a Devstream in which they cover a bunch of topics talking about what's coming in the game, what's going on right now, and some community questions as well. Today was the 32nd of these Devstreams, or Devstream number 32. I'm going to spend this video reviewing everything they cover, as well as giving some of my own opinions. If you haven't watched the Devstream yourself yet, I would suggest it. They're not that long. They're around an hour to 2 hours normally. I think this one's closer to an hour. I will have a link to it in the description, but I will make sure in this video I cover everything, so just in case you don't feel like sitting down and watching the entire thing, perfectly fine, and you should get all of the information from my video. So let's get started. First thing was the big controversial topic in the community right now, which is that they're not adding more tiers. Every other time that they've extended a season, we've seen tiers up to tier 75. They're not doing it this season. The point that Zane made as to why this decision was made is that most players just aren't even at 50 right now. While I don't have any personal theories as to why this could be, if that is true, which based off what I've seen in many rounds, this is true, it just simply means that if we were to go up to 75, it would be something for like not many players, probably the top 0.05%, which it doesn't really make sense for the devs to create 25 tiers worth of programming or anything, or, you know, push out a new update, or really just do any of that if it's just for such a small handful of players. The next thing was there is no plans to add more objectives in the encounters, meaning there's currently no plans in place that they're going to add any more, like, you know, disruptor towers or signal towers or any of that stuff. This is not only due to Zane not seeing any real purpose in doing so, but also saying that he doesn't really want to spend time on this. He wants to spend time on other things. Zane referenced a popular point that's been made by Half Metal Fox many, many times, that he wants to focus more on polishing the game than just and fixing the gunplay, rather than just adding more guns. Half Metal Fox is one of the most popular people that say this very often. I mean, I say it occasionally, but I'm not as vocal about it as Half is. And Half just, the fact he is relaying Half's opinions is very, very good to see here, because, you know, it shows that he's listening, and that's what we like to see out of the dev team. He confirmed that the Raffica will be changed to a blue rarity gun or a rare gun. There's some speculation and rumors flying around that it might go to gold. While these are speculation and rumors at the moment, you know, he didn't really say anything to give them any credence. But regardless, if it's going to blue or gold, we know that they're changing the Raffica to make it more expensive. And I would expect, while he didn't say it, I would expect Raffica nerfs as well. The weapon is currently just too good to really make any logical sense to exist the way it is. Now, what these nerfs will look like, I have no clue. He addressed cheaters. This is the first time the dev team has ever addressed cheaters on anything. And this was a huge win for myself and a lot of people who've been wanting a public statement addressing dupers and exploiters in general. He said that he's taking this stuff seriously. I think his exact quote was he wants a play fair, be fair gameplay, or something very close to that. Which means the devs will be taking exploiters seriously. Most likely expect a ban wave with 8.0. So if you're a cheater or duper, stop immediately. And if you see any cheaters or dupers, please report it to the local partner that you trust. Even if it's not me, I won't take offense. Just report them. Let's try to clean up the community as much as we can. The next thing is he hinted at reworking interactable exits. A lot of people haven't really been happy with the locked exit system, and while I'm personally fine with it, and it seems like Zane expressed a personal like for the system, he acknowledged that a lot of the community wants some minor tweaking of the system, and he said that most likely that will be coming. The next thing he said was the weapon queue. Very, very popular question that people had. He seems to have misunderstood the question, though, for instead of weapon queue crafting more than one guns at once. I'm going to address it as if he did, because his response only really makes sense if he didn't misunderstand. He confirmed that crafting two weapons at the same time will never happen. He said it's just illogical to him, and he doesn't think it's necessary for the gameplay. Because I don't really think he actually understood the nature of the question, I would suggest a future follow-up question of someone asking about the queue, since we didn't really get a solid answer on that. The next thing is he talked about sprint reload changes. I made a whole video about why I don't like the sprint reload changes from a balancing perspective. However, from a logical and realistic standpoint, which was the argument that Zane made, it does make sense. So if you're on the same, this is an opinion. If you agree with Zane that the game should be more realistic and that when you reload while sprinting, you can't reload while sprinting, you just stop moving or you stop sprinting, then that's one side of the coin. Or if you're with me and you believe that, you should be able to do both for balancing perspective reasons, then cool on you, won't judge you either way. Next thing is he addressed radiation in the environment. I was really angered about some of the questions that were asked by the devs, and that's why this has made it into my script. Guys, the Devstream is not for questions that can be answered by, just logic. Ask the devs questions that only the devs can answer, like, hey, is this getting fixed? Hey, can this be fixed? Hey, can we talk about adding this feature? Can we talk about changing this feature? Asking questions like, why is the sky shade blue 32? I know nobody asked that, but that type of question is wasting the devs' time, it's wasting our time. The dev streams are not long enough for us to be asking stupid questions. I also advise, don't ask a question you've seen other people ask that's been answered. If the question's been answered, just stop asking it. Even if you miss the answer, just wait until the VOD goes up and then watch the VOD. It just makes everyone in the community's life better because we can ask more questions and get more information out of them. I do got a note here. Zane seems to be a huge Kino fan, and I am personally one as well, so respect to Zane for that. A big focus for Zane that he mentioned many, many times was before he releases anything to the game, any changes or any tweaks or anything, he wants it to be perfect. So expect some more features as we come into the newer updates to not be as, prone to failure as they were in past updates, because Zane seems to be wanting to change Bohemia's track record on this one. He addressed stat tracking by saying he understands that people want things like threat and headshots to be tracked, and he would love to track it, but the game is already tracking a lot, and by tracking more, it may cause some server-side lag and other issues, and while he would be thinking about adding more stats to track, he cannot promise anything. The next thing is he stated someone asked a curious question that I think was a pretty good one. They asked which console currently has the largest player size, and he answered PlayStation. He said he wasn't solid on the answer though, but I think he is right in this answer because PlayStation is so new and seemingly has the most players. Next, he talked about getting a title for vinyls, which he said he was highly interested in adding a title for collecting all the vinyls. He also said that partners will most likely be getting titles, as will the devs, in 8.0. We knew it from the previous dev stream that the partners and the devs are going to be getting their own titles soon, but now this has been confirmed and that it's coming soon. The next thing is that the devs, one of the big reasons why updates have been scaled down and we've lost the mid-update is because they're focusing a lot on optimization. Mainly from what Zane said on Switch, which makes a lot of sense because Switch is very much having optimization issues right now, but understand that they're trying to optimize everything, which means shootout, elim, server-side lag, all that type of stuff is things that the devs are actively trying to fix and work on. The next thing is a lot of people asked about 60 FPS, and while Zane basically did address the question, he said, we don't know. I'm going to say that they don't really have any statement at the moment, so we can't expect it in the near future. I do think we'll get it eventually, but at the moment it seems like they're just a little too worried about fixing the game, which is a very fair worry that I think they should focus more on, optimization, before we can see 60 FPS. Zane then said something that really sparked my interest. A big raging debate in the community lately has been rock peaking. Rock peaking is considered by some an exploit, others just, part of the third-person peak system. Zane addressed it by saying he wants to fix rock peaking. He understands that there's people who do it. I don't think he addressed them as cheaters or exploiters, so I don't think they're people you can report. Again, that's just from what I interpreted from his words. I personally wouldn't say we can report these people, But back to what he was saying. He says he wants to fix the issues with third person's POV so that way it can't rock peek. If this is achieved, it would be insane because most third person games have rock peeking or wall peeking or all the other shit. I don't really know how you can achieve getting rid of this feature. If they do it, though, it would greatly even out third person versus first. Because a lot of people are arguing now that third has gotten a little bit better than first, which the argument comes from the fact that it seems like mag recentering is decreasing first and last shot bloom to a very low degree, making third person just a bit more viable. Next statement, he confirmed that we're not getting no nades. Well, at least not anytime soon. He expressed a tiny bit of interest in it, but he said that they're not being worked on at the moment, so don't expect no nades in 8.0, at least according to Zane. That's something I can rest easy hearing. I don't want nades to come back. I remember what 0.8 was like with them, and I don't want them to come back ever. And the final statement that I want to address, coming out of our Lord and Savior Zane, is that crossplay, or, being able to party up with people on other platforms, while something they're interested in and definitely working on, is not a priority. This is a big sad thing for me and a lot of other people who really want to be able to play with our PlayStation and Switch boys, or Xbox and Switch, or whatever console you're on, playing with the other consoles. It's not something the devs are focusing on right now, and honestly, I don't blame them. Well, yes, it would be really nice, and I would be very, very happy. It has to be understood that they would have to basically design their own login feature and own party system, basically from scratch, because to my knowledge, Bohemia doesn't really have that on console at the moment. I mean, maybe DayZ does, but I'm not sure that they do, which really shouldn't be a priority when the game needs as much optimization as it does right now. This has been Christopher Beast, and I've just been covering what the devs have been saying. Make sure you give them some love if you liked what you heard. If you don't, go on social media and ask the questions that weren't asked. Dev streams happen on average every 3 weeks. I mean, sometimes they do them sooner, sometimes they do them later. So we shouldn't really expect another one until probably the end of April or May. So I'll cover that when that happens. When it happens, make sure you guys have some good questions for the devs. This is one of the greatest opportunities for the community to ask questions to the devs. There really is no other major opportunity besides through partners, and that is a slow and burdensome process that everyone, kind of gets annoyed with. They stream the dev stream on both Facebook and Twitch. I personally watch the Twitch stream, but there's nothing wrong with watching the Facebook stream if that's what you so choose. Till next time, though, this has been Christopher Beast, and I'll see you all next time.